Good evening, and welcome to the opening book launch, CD launch of AmericanMental. My buddy Nick Bisanz, the man behind the music. I want to thank several people for making this whole project happen. Greg Carell for the design of the book cover. I want to thank Dave for creating this beautiful place here at Greenkill Gallery, not just for poets and musicians, but for painters and artists of all kinds. This is the place to come if you're creative in any way. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to open with some pieces that do not sort of directly relate to AmericanMental, and then he and I will blast into AmericanMental, and we'll take it out with a couple pieces that are not AmericanMental. So from the pandemic that I know we're all living through, this is called Left of the Green Lampshade. It was funny grooming myself in isolation. Do I shave? Do I shower? Do I tuck in my shirt? Do I tilt the screen just left of the green lampshade for best effect? Do I mirror myself or go commando on the other end of it? And let those of you on the other end of this string see for yourself if I hid the weed or drank all the wine. Okay, welcome. Here's the house. Did these days sneak up on you too? Because we all ignored the rear view warning that objects are closer than they seem? Are all the little anxieties from outside adapting, like anything wishing a healthy lifespan would, making you anxious inside? Are you making your days fruitful, planting seeds, cleaning house, throwing out the old, whatever it was that bound us then, when now is all that matters? Totem America, all your trademarks, blue and gray, are falling. Totem America, nothing can save you. Totem America, the towers of corpses dark the sun. And when all else fails, Totem America, go stupid, indecent. Fuck your crass cousin, Totem America. Your dark debris dead ahead. Your dismal tide breaks the beach. Your meds and mercy are fallow. Fallow, Totem America. Rapacious, repulsive, Totem America, bleeding out. With all the handspring and stuff, I've kind of lost my touch to tearing pages. And this is called If I Should Die. If I should die before finishing this poem, will you dovetail our voices into one? If I should die before I conclude, please keep the truth we carried into the war that threatens to silence us, the words we use to shorten the distance between us. Live long enough and the plot becomes apparent. This is the only way it could turn out. The fire-roasted eggplant flatbread is running late. The edible hasn't kicked in time for the movie. The wine lacks a certain weight, and the folks at the next table are ready to strangle each other. Live long enough and life costs you an axle. Love hits the wall more often than not, and the rubbernecking results in muscle sprain and hyphenated discs. The downward arc of history crashes on your lawn. Corporate names become your own. Surly asides become convention. Live long enough and people implore you to pray for them. Pray they be rid the cancer and conceit. And you do because maybe they know something you don't. That short of the nuclear option, what the fuck else is there? Strafe downtown, torch town hall, increase the Valium and Xanax? Live long enough and the choice becomes either abuse or entertainment. Your dynamic points of interest dull. The sand becomes listless. Tariff and sanctions scintillate. You come to terms. Live long enough and you tire of doing this, that, every little freaking thing. But maybe that's how this shit storm passes, in service to someone in need, to someone mistaken as foreign, to someone you once saw as a stranger, a careening penitent inclined to believe. Nick Bisanz.
Hey, friends. All right.
Up to Marty.
What do you got next?
Marty.
More? All right. I got to do a little tinkering. Now we're all set. Ready, Mike?
Yeah, I'm ready. Marty's 81, has a parched post-pneumonia cough and the shits from diverticulitis. A blood clot in his leg he can't afford the Bixapan for because you can't survive on a pension and Social Security in this country anymore. Lives with his daughter in a shitlorn town in the Hudson Valley that everyone struggles to avoid unless you're driving through in a funeral procession, because his third wife, Peg, a beautiful girl, a very, very smart girl, took to the booze in our old farmhouse they rehabbed somewhere in shitlorn, Pennsylvania. 29 years, he counts. 29 years. Played Carnegie Hall as a child and sang doo-wop with the Mafia Boys back there in Bensonhurst. Bought his first Corvette in 1959. A turquoise baby that stole your breath while Sal the Snake stole your wallet. Shows me pictures on his cell phone. His whole life in his hands. In the hands of some vaporous strangers. The old stone house he restored with Joan, his second wife, who had 5 kids and took on my 3. Plays piano for St. Margaret's down the road in Shitlorn at the intersection where the light don't work. The 62 Corvette. The 65. People were worth something then, he rasps, the cold phlegm seizing in his pipes. Shows me his cousin Maury's place up in Saratoga. Raises horses and runs a marina in Manhasset Bay. Maury was always the smart one, he swears, scraping his lungs. More pictures of grandkids and horses, cars and pianos. His fix-it shop in Shitlorn where he still fixes vintage stereo equipment. And you know, I take in a place here and I take in a piece there for pocket money, you know? I tell him about my fried Macintosh with the fried left channel. Here's my email. Send me some pictures. Maybe I can help you, he says. Served in the service, but that don't mean a goddamn thing anymore. His son's got his Hunter Green 74 Vet until he can get a place of his own. Pictures of his daughter's daughter who just turned 4. I'm gonna start her on scales when this cough's all gone. Any day now, he says. Okay. You fall from the bardo into this shakedown, this realm of fraud and spite, where the North looks south with brown skins picking the white man's salad. You fall from the bardo into this unmannered situation, this crude hive of monsters on the morning commute. You fall from the bardo hoping to retain or relearn some form of grace and charity, but it's futile. All you can hope for is immunity, then feign ignorance like all the rest. You fall from the bardo back into this. Good luck. Two doors down from the revolution, I'm licking war wounds with a vodka sting when the general with her own reality show puts me on the kill list. Feeding the banking clan from the hireling's platter, she lays waste my periphery, wants something from me I just don't have. Some truth, some gospel, some inkling, some belief that somehow we'll get past this dreamless time, this querulous point of crude debate. Like a drone adored in a negligee, she can't dance to Tchaikovsky, so she cranks up the Stones. Inside, insists her boss need to know, but I ain't telling, no matter how many digits I lose. No, go ahead. This ugly crusade's gone on too long, she swears, bearing down on me with a meat cleaver. Cameras rolling, ratings high. Albert's riddle, the crazy one.
All right. Let me do that 1 second here. All right.
No, all of a sudden I can't find it.
Well, friends, Mike Trakovic, AmericanMental. While he's finding that poem, I'll give you a little background. We worked on this for 6, 8, 10 months, week at a time, just doing it as we can on tracks on our own, on Mike's studio, and it was a lot of fun.
Here it
It
is.
was a good excuse to start drinking vodka at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's the best way of doing it. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yes.
You're welcome. Ready?
All right, I'm going to start with this little line and then you crank in.
You got it.
This one's called Albert's Riddle. The world is a curious madhouse. Albert Einstein. The world is a fucking nut house, man. Don't bullshit me. Every motherfucker thinking he's the king of the hill. And do you know the firearms needed to defend all that? The powder, the rocket, the Analace, the IED, and Judas Cradle. Couldn't you say something more heartening like, that's why they put erasers on pencils, or the meaning of life is to go back asleep and hope that tomorrow is a better day like old Charlie Brown? That bald little lotus worries each worrisome day. Seriously, Albert, give it some thought. Even Plato practiced dying. So why this innocuous axiom from a brain so cocksure to ask who has the fish? Who has the goddamn fish? Didn't you ever just drop a line in the creek and watch the day go by? Keep up the crazy.
Pedal dance.
This one's called Cloudland. This one's called Cloudland. I came upon a man bruising himself with stones. The Orange King decrees it, he cries, the gravel cutting his skin, his blood pooling at the base of the foot of a wall. It's meant to keep us in, not them out, I told him. Or I tried to tell him above his chanting. But his children soon joined in. Then his church and Union Hall. then his wife and the ladies' auxiliary, then his neighbors, then his family and relatives. As the king's men stake their claim, we assemble at Potter's Field in colorful rags, but an army sharing selfies soon defeats itself. I've tried real hard to keep politics out of all this, but I can't. We either advance each day or we don't. And some of us will fall. And some of us will turn. And some of us will make that mountaintop. Nice.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
nice. Very
Thank you,
nice.
sir.
Thank you.
Take a little twist on these. You can only play so again.
Yeah, okay.
Got to freshen them up for the crowd.
How about a little chugga chugga?
Chugga chugga?
If you awoke fragile today, steer clear. I'm standing on the dry line, gathering steam, and may say things I don't mean or purport to have said. Hitch my hide to the pity parade and parry the opiate shuffle. Barely disguise my distrust for the words you choose to screed your codes. You rabid holy verse, your clown's redress, and how it persuades the querulous few to shoot me on sight. Your sucker theorems are now historical record. Your family portrait beside FDR, his cousin, and the black guy that you have chosen to demean and deplore, you piece of goddamn human excrement. You rat's ass, you hell-bent blind soldier at war against science, at war against ourselves, in which no house stands, not even the gold engraved ones. No, not even the gold engraved. It's an apocalyptic feel, isn't it? As we carry our shit like it makes any difference in the rocket's red glare. Conventional, thermal, cellular, take your pick, place your bets. Either way, we're gonna fall, leaving it to the scholars hence to examine our umbrage. Our shit. Our shit. It's always our shit left behind, no matter how vengeful the flood, how concussive our personal weaponry. Our shit and the sermons, our shit and the channels devoted to it, our shit and the lack thereof. The night unfolds. That's it.
That's it.
That's the one. This is one of the first ones that was written to be part of American Mental, and it's called The Night Unfolds. The night unfolds like Simone rising from Sartre's lap, and we're left all alone watching from our hovel east of theirs. It was so rare to see them cohabitating intimate corners like this. He holding her book, she holding his. We giggled at their dalliance, their feral talks around Montparnasse, and their dark carafes of wine. Reviewing detours before and after, and how the crossroad crisis costs us all in the end. The girl, the train, the day, the ellipsis and apothecary, the moment and its time. Fascists rally, soldiers invade, havoc ensnares, innocents die. Did you hear that? Innocents die. Even those on the periphery doing radio for the Vichy or arguing symmetrically for the Gulag and for free will. We overheard them over their macarons and Sauvignon. For a day in Paris is always a day in Paris. It just depends what side you're on and how history's cold deceits blow far beyond the Seine. This next one is called Wonderland Parade, and I was doing a class. Not that I'm a teacher, but I was invited to read for a class. And when I read this poem, one of the students in the class was like, "The ending of that poem is right next door to my house." And I felt so bad because I wasn't really trying to pinpoint her in any way. But she was like, no, I hate that damn thing. So this is called Wonderland Parade, and what it is, it came from driving through a certain town in the valley. It was almost Christmas, and everything is like, okay, watch out for the Wonderland Parade, traffic's going to be delayed. But you know, all these Wonderland parades, they're all going to go past what's ever left of the towns that we live in. And this is called Wonderland Parade. Expect delays on Main Street this Saturday as the Winterland Parade winds past the dollar store and Dunkin' Donuts, the laundromat and vacant shops, past the OTB and liquor store, the payday loans and Dell's garage, the diners serving hot cocoa, the libraries closed till further notice. The war memorial's overgrown, but we're hoping for snow that day. And you don't want to miss St. Gemma's Choir outside the Quiet Meadow Nursing Home, past the Pregnancy Center and Goodwill, Walmart, Rite Aid, CVS, candy canes and Santa. Bing's will be hosting holiday songs with well drinks 2 for $1, 1 through 4. The parade runs past the halfway house and food pantry where the soup is thin till the meds kick in. Then everyone swings in a holiday mood to the master's lawn where the lights shine bright and a big inflatable Kevin waves to us all. Nick Bisanz.
Thank you very much. So I heard the Christmas line. I was like, all right, yeah, there we go. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
What town was it? Tell me the town. Oh, no, oh, wow. Yeah. I would never have thought that in a million years. That's wild.
That's what it was.
Learn something every day, folks.
This next one really happened. We were with 2 of our dear friends. Emily and I were with 2 of our dear friends in Santa Cruz, which unfortunately their house burned down in the recent fires, but this was years ago. And we had eaten several brownies, and the girls wanted to go into this store with shoes and vintage clothing and stuff, and Rock and I, of course, were like, oh man, what do we do now? And well, this is what happened, and it's called Still Life with Mandolin. And if you're interested in purchasing AmericanMental, you can go up on the website, www.mikejakovic.com, or you can just message me, and I'll give you the address. And I'm selling the book and the CD, normally $15 a piece, but 2 for $20 if you're interested. And T-shirts too. So there you go. I hate doing PSAs, but that's just how it goes. All right, your turn, buddy. In this city of tall women intent on getting somewhere, the bedlam is built in, the chaos concurrent with everyday life. A swirl in clouds of estrogen, I plot my way without getting hurt. Murder and mayhem gauge my eye. Sales girls look at me like I have 6 heads, which I just so happen to do today because I'm stoned and trying to purchase a book about flogging with a credit card long since expired, and a smile discolored from years of red wine. A tall order of diplomacy is needed. So I borrow 50 from a chanteuse who only knows 2 songs and sings them over and over and over and over whenever it is I'm trying to read. Passing shower. Passing shower.
One sec.
I think that.
We're good.
I think that was the Jimmy, the one on. I come from a long line of weathermen who swore that Noah's storm was a passing shower. As the last son before 9 daughters, all of whom shattered the glass ceiling by founding girlweather.com, I kept the website current. Crazy weather was normal now and getting worse. Mary swore the extinction winter was tomorrow. Beth saw rain. Sad, sad girl that she was. Tina liked the lonely cool of autumn. Molly, her twin, loved upheaval. Kate married, taught convolutions, had 4 kids, and didn't give a goddamn how the wind blew. Amber and Anita, the second twins, loved the New York heat. Salacious climbs were Annie's bag. I swear by sweat, she'd say. Each one was crazier than a shithouse rat. All except my sister Mo, who kept it real. There's a storm a-comin', she'd fondly say.
Alternative version.
Ping pong.
Okay, we're doing this. Go for it.
Well, you start this one, don't you? Yeah, I recognize that. I ping-pong between machines for what? To calibrate my steps towards the dirt nap? To tend my cell, my contusions? To email the news of a fellow cognate's imminent promotion from this warring plane? Praying the bantam shifts I've confessed strike God's fancy as alternate plans to push the days forward and not back, because falling from fuck to fascism does wear you down, deletes your decorum, makes for uncivil discourse, and thus this poem. Oh man, the applause is deafening. We can hear it all over the lines. Thank you, everybody.
This is the story of my career. Utter silence. It's okay. I appreciate it. I like it. I wouldn't know what to do otherwise.
All right, this one's me.
Go for it.
This is called Oblong Thing. Twilight falls on bygone road and the vague expected settles. The vandals took everything so Dylan was wrong. Starburst arpeggios happen less to children old enough to understand that building is the labor of years, that ruin is a thoughtless hour. It was never my imagining to leave you all the answers, bequeath you the rifles and prescriptions, the shop vac and the shed. But entertaining angels is an oblong thing, a fistful of chords and unguarded splendor, your first and last steps stored in a cloud where heaven should be. Oh, this is the bluesy one.
Topeka?
Yeah, Topeka, baby.
Here we go.
This is the second single off the album. You heard the first one?
Go ahead.
No, you got to go first.
No, we'll talk.
We'll talk. Well, talk. Okay. Yeah. Again, if you want to purchase AmericanMental and the accompanying CD, it's $20 for two for both pieces. www.mikedracovic.com, or you can just email or send like Soupy Sales used to say, send checks, send those little green things in your parents' wallet to P.O. Box 1099, New Paltz, New York 12561. Thank you.
Hold on, this was the Soupy Sales bit. He said, go into your mother's purse.
Yeah.
Take out $10.
That's right.
Send it to me. And they did it. He made it.
In my case, send 20. So there you go. I never did get back to Topeka. What was the point? There were pipe bombs in every direction. Just like here. Up and down, forward and back, horizon to horizon, moon to moon, and grandma's down 8 fingers and falling into her Chilean chips as Pop swears at Quick Draw, and little Lena gets off the bus and walks into the dim-wit, gimlet, gin house that only the brave defy. Which is why I'm here, hiding behind happy hour, my religion lost and my faith failing fast, each dark minute hauling itself forward towards the water, towards the morsel, towards the dead legends I call my own and number myself among. We jump off in droves, the chasm yawning, the darkness rushing by. Just grow soldiers, they say, reminding me a lot of what I heard back there in Topeka, where prairie winds blow rust and water mains burst just like that. Just like everywhere else neglected by its people. Dismissed as a political problem when, in fact, it's a cultural one. A question of folklore and the lack thereof. No present, no past, no holds barred when it comes to the demise and the dollars that it makes. Squalor, contempt, a breed I've indebted myself to. A ruined lineage. Just like Topeka. Yeah, that's the one.
See, now when we recorded that, it was an open G.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't have a guitar tech or any of that kind of thing, so you just got to play in standard A.
There you go. It worked beautifully.
Thank you, sir.
You can make some spooky noises behind this
Ooh,
one.
I love spooky noises.
And just keep them going, because then I'll go into the next piece.
Yeah, let me get my spooky setting.
We all know that there's just way too many guns in this country, and there's way too many
No.
There's really nothing happy about this book. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's just a snapshot of how I see what's going on. So this is called 2 Wives Ago.
Okay, go for it.
It's a beautiful thing. Stockpiled, vacuum sealed, purchased a little each payday for the last 15 years and 2 wives ago. Neither could see my reasoning, so I gave up trying. You can only save yourself in the end. Everyone else drains your supplies. Dated, rotated, each 50-millimeter can checked monthly for corrosion. In this room, mostly cornmeal and 50-pound bags of sugar. A tunnel in the highway, shelved doors to ceiling with corn and tuna. In this room alone, my water. Keep going. I'll get there eventually. Trish McIver had a sinister tick, a lithium logic that begged dedication. Her mercy flew in fragments, and she made a darker jazz with a set degree of fixture and no sliding scale. That dates back to the 6th grade when I stole my first kiss. The sun was really bright that day, the air unreasonably clean. The Christmas lights haloed in her glasses, and I couldn't resist. I took her right there, mouth to mouth. Miss Norton flustered. We were 2 of a kind, our desires and untempered skill. Prone to the mad calls of profit, our hearts locked perfectly. And all throughout college, we plotted our motives. Sold pot to raise funds. Took our first shipment of Armalite Colts and a box of Berettas. Then we read, in the Armed Tribune, mind you, about a new arms maker. Glock. It was 63. The Beatles on the BBC. I saw her standing there with halos in her glasses, and I proposed. We invested heavy. Under the table, across the boards, across the Dakrong River with freedom in the hole. Then she miscarried and we took a break. Sailed Greece. Made a few connections. Made some calls and flew to Tehran. Nairobi. We never talked of children again. We went low profile in the 80s, but it didn't last long. We were one of a kind, she and I, so we went to Nicaragua, Detroit, Kingston, Camden, Albany, Newburgh, selling cheap and plentiful to both sides, cops and robbers, it makes no difference. Everyone's gearing up for survival. War unabated, abroad, at home. To avoid bloodshed, we vacationed on private islands. Even after retiring, we got involved deep with the Middle East, fattening kings and slaughtering their houses. That income set us up to this. Our friends and family all in one room, bearing flowers to her grave. Gotta love that one.
Nice, very nice.
We all leave who we were. That's gonna, you should have that one.
I got, let me get my loop.
It's a loop.
I need a guitar tech.
So yeah, I want to thank Dave and Greg for really helping me out with this project, and I owe you guys in a million different ways. And thank you to all you out there that are watching. And this first piece of this two-poem piece is a collaboration between the wonderful Hudson Valley poets Raphael Kosek and Will Nixon. And what we were doing was just throwing lines back and forth email-wise. And we had written a bunch of things, and what comes here is the lines that were left over. And it's called, "We all leave who we were to become who we are." Yep. We all leave who we were and become who we are with the noose not far behind, nipping at our heels. We all leave who we were and become who we are behind mountains, like love always does. We all leave who we were and become who we are, escaping down streets where the fate of fever and skin tingles in the rain. Our sixth sense seeking tequila. We all leave who we were and become who we are and threaten revolution, then watch from the sidelines as the oil men advance. We spend most of our lives departing, disrupting the whole human flow. Stuck in our tracks, our whereabouts, our lovers, our lies. We spend most of our lives in the way, and it's our lack of clairvoyance that defines us. We spend most of our lives walking idly, waiting for a wise man or a pretty girl to sweep us away. Out of the line of fire, away from the traffic, away from the broken politics, cluttering the hall. Through our debris, our children walk, barefoot in barrios, burdened at birth. Cry the cold china, billboards in Harlem, East 138, I still call you home. Turn back the promise, the premise, the menace, East 138, I still call you home. Abandoned like babies, burnt and begotten over a river of peril, standing alone. At the crossroad, a beggar of jade and Jehovah, hustling for handouts from shadows long stilled. Spit out the devil, the demon, the donor, the monster, the baby, the shrill of the dead. Run the cold plasma over hordes of the faithful, East 138, I still call you home. Turn the blue corner. If I can find it. I'm ready. Caught in the rhythm of the great American thimble rig, I find myself shuffling shells for the tourists from Wisconsin who missed the bus and now they're here on Avenue C, where all the psychosis slides east on Thursdays, asking themselves or someone else or someone equally as fucked if the 2-drink minimum applies to them. Everything pertains in New York, I say. So throw some hot sauce on that plain cheese pizza and watch my hands carefully. The night remains sleepless, and it makes no difference what language the old lady yells when she wanted ranch. You nitwit, not hot sauce. Buzzed. I have to admit this next piece was inspired by a wonderful Hudson Valley poet who actually read here last month, Guy Reed, and he had the line about the universe next door, and I said, can I steal that? And he said yes, and it wound up in here. And this is called Buzzed. In the universe next door to ours, I'm buzzed as fuck in a wormhole chasing the North Pole's magnetic slide. But it's picked up speed, so my compass can't be trusted. In the universe next door to ours, old hippies don't get gout. 8 million baristas and sommeliers have better things to do and better medical benefits. Confusion, headaches are a thing of the past. In the universe next door to ours, children float on gleaming tides. War dead are not dishonored. The last ship hasn't sailed or suffers in dry dock. In the universe next door to ours, the city is not laced with warheads. Bomb trains don't rattle the Hudson's western shore. In the universe next door to ours, I'm buzzed as fuck and free of triggerfish and timestamp. Everything fits. There's an Irish bar in every corner, and I ain't coming back. Nick Bisanz, everybody, my buddy.
Thank you, Matt. Mike Dracovic, friends.
I knew I was going to run into trouble by putting these idiot Post-its in front of everything, because I'm looking at where the pages are, and it's just, this is device. I think you got it on there. So yeah, Dave's trying to invite artists of all disciplines to please come and check out and perform here at Greenkill Gallery. The walls are filled with art. The stage is open to playwrights and memoirists and musicians and whatever your discipline might be. So please get in contact with Dave at Greenkill Galleries, and he will be welcome to welcome you. That didn't sound right, did it? Yeah.
I'm ready when you are.
You begin. It's been a while, and my heart and the vodka know it. How many times you said no here? Goodbye here. I hear the commuter trains. Their riders expecting normal, but not tonight. Tonight I have other plans, and they include immolation, time dying, breath, pulse, the rabid drill. An 8-ball thunders down my veins. I've come back to redistribute the mayhem and hand in my notice, alerting you all to my moral exhaustion, my firewall kilned by distress, distrust, and debris. I'm off everything now and feeling better than ever, free to object and make my argument louder than your curbside chatter. So I'm gonna put a device here and a device over here and a device under your table over there. And I'm gonna put a device by the bridge and one by the entrance of the emergency room. Some of us will make it and some of us won't. But isn't that the running joke behind learning from the past? You know there's a growing army like me out there, skirting the shadows, afraid of the day, and still you get on those trains, thinking you'll get home. Let it reverb. You never walk shitlorn the same way twice, and that's a great relief for us clan of criminal lovers whose teeth don't match, whose peevish complaints annoy me, leave me unattended. I only blew up the building because I could. It was a really nice day. I only blew up the building because my back was up against the wall and I needed some kind of release and recreation. Because I wanted to. Because I had to. Because the line between gang and government is gone. Nice. Excellent.
Nice.
All right, we're going to close out the American Mental part of this program.
Wow, we're done already, huh?
Yep.
Time flies, bud.
On this solo little performance. This is one of the first ones, again, written for the book, and it's called The Irreversible Future. We oohed and awed at the 64 World's Fair and the droids that would take away our work and give us more time with the kids. More time to smoke, to read and watch, to drink and fuck some more. Raw metallic arms did the work of 50 men without unions and overtime. Hulking, huge brains sprayed all their pretty light and reasoned all our equations. The atom had no blowback. The wonderful world of chemistry was just one pill ahead. We marveled at modems and picture phones. Big oil gave us back the dinosaurs. The happy plastic family heartened us all. Different trips, same monkey. Disney ruled the air. Weather stations under the Arctic ice would correct the world's climate. The cities of the future had no ghetto that we could see. They were less frantic and sad than those to come. No one homeless, no one alone. Jetpacks, whoa. Space stations, ah. Deserts became farms where dark robots picked the fruit. The Mick was there, I saw him. And the supercars, the Kennedys without Jack, for, you know, the darkness did just dawn. We oohed and awed, zipping on the monorail, carrying our radiated nickels and dimes. Or were they pennies? I forgot all about the poor. We explored the mysteries of a woman's mind. Wisconsin cheese! 3D led to 4G, then 5. They all say we don't need 6. We oohed and awed and became. Thank you. That closes American Mental.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna do two solo ones, and then you just improvise behind the other two.
You got it.
How's that sound?
Yep. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, everybody. We're just gonna close with a couple of new ones. I'm not even really too sure if Nick's even heard these, so there you go.
We work best improv.
This one's called Gracie. There's a grammatical error up ahead that will change everything. How and why, I don't know, because off the top of my head, each mad essay must cast doubt on the one before, or at least lend a hand to its aberrant cause, which makes for unsure seasons, rising seas, and a lack of wonder. And I know you have better places to be, like Dunking D or debtor's jail, so I'll try to get at what I'm getting at before I go to where I'm going, which was to talk about Gracie Allen. Who knew today's postage stamp was yesterday's head of state? That a country of checks and balances relies on checks, and that you never place a comma where God has put a period. This is something I totally made up. And this is called Wasn't Either. Crackpipe Joe recalled the old days fondly. It all happens at once in the Bronx, he says. The physics impaired prepare to park. A ground floor crone calls the garbage can bill and kicks a cabbage to the curb. That's just how it is in Dust City, he says, modeling back to June '88, when he and Tessa nodded on the Interborough and woke up snuggling a rare Jasper Johns. A neo-Dada abstract, she said, and she knew too, having Doyen downtown before, well, you know, before her tone became more baleful and narcotic, and all this wasn't here, and all that wasn't either. See the ambient index at the corner of the swirl, she said, and of course I did. We were both cool young pedestals on which modern art rested. It's the only thing of beauty we own, she said, but I wanted to hawk it and keep the good times rolling. But women, you know, they have their ways. So we've piped it from one borough to shelter, to the old Plymouth parked on 178, waiting the day the price is right, and we can beat it from this fucking town. I don't know, what do you think? Like I said, we were going to end on 2 improvisations. Nick's never seen these 2 pieces because I just forgot to email him. And this is called Where the Light Sneaks In. The psychic took my personal check, and I quickly questioned all her projections. Surely she knew my grifter past before predicting 10 weeks on the New York Times top 10 and Amazon's Prime Big Pick. Have you read my stuff? It's freaking depressing, I said. A curt evaluation, I'll concede, but I don't see stars anymore. Just bullet holes where the light sneaks in. We need your truth, she said, and I thought, holy crap! What a blurb that would make. Let Kirkus Magazine charge me for a review now. This country ain't pissed, she said, lending credence to my last submissions, a whole new heft to my au revoir. Can I quote you, I asked, without grimace, my standard scowl of the day? $26.99, she said, without fanfare or delight. I want to thank everybody for trying, you know, whatever it is, however you get onto these things, clicking in, I guess. It's the last piece for the evening. It's something new, and it's called Slow Becoming. My head fills with the everyday hum, the slow becoming hours, the self, mismanaged in parts but not in others. Like any history, big or small, holds steady, the heart loyal, arrhythmic, unstinting. We try, she scribed in the old book she sent, which I then lost myself in. To sing the common decibel is all we can do before it ends. Thank you everyone for watching. Nick Bisanz, David Schell behind everything here at Greenkill. Thank you everyone.